Welcome to What Matters Most.
We are dedicated to educating the community about holistic, metaphysical, and spiritual topics.
Each week, we discuss things that matter most in life, the things that are most important to you that may have fallen to the wayside.
We are always centered on the idea of simplifying life, connecting with our neighbors, and following our true paths.
Our mission is to empower you to live the life that you've always dreamed of living.
We invite you to focus your life on what matters most. And we're back with What Matters Most, and we're here with Donna Evans-Strauss.
So Donna, let me ask you, if when you do this particular session with your clients, are these one-on-one sessions or are they group sessions? Because it sounds like you really do need to kind of go back.
Like family
sessions, like you need to go back almost through like a family tree, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I work with people individually, but I also train people in groups. I'll do a weekend group. And then what I do is I like to empower those that come to the group that they learn right away how to hold grace touch for someone else in the group. Mm-hmm. So they'll learn a grace touch technique in order to help somebody hold a specific place, maybe where divine trust was breached, where people are in fear, they don't trust, they're mistrusting, they're paranoid. So you learn how to hold trust, if paranoia, if someone's dealing with, mistrust or betrayal in a family. So I teach that right there in the workshop, in the one-day workshop, and you can go home and practice those techniques very easily with family and friends.
Donna, let me just ask you, are there many elements associated with the grace touch technique? Because I'm not familiar with it. I haven't seen it or witnessed it. And maybe is this something that you developed from your teachings and that you were involved with at the Brennan School, or something totally different?
I developed it. It includes some of the Barbara Brennan, but it doesn't include working with chakras or anything like that. It really is a simplistic approach using the divine qualities, which everyone can access in any moment by shifting their consciousness to change something in the moment of the now. I developed a program, weekend seminars and one-day seminars, but I also developed a 2-year program that covers the training of going through all the 7 main divine qualities and all the different systems of the body, so the circulatory system, the lungs, and the different things, and teaching people more extensively how to work with the divine qualities in those systems. But basically, you can, when you learn the divine qualities, you can practice shifting in and out all day long from divine trust to mistrust. You can learn to breathe in, I trust in the I am that I am, and breathe that in through your body and up into the center of your brain so that your body becomes very peaceful and restful. I've worked with people all over the world in that way, where I've had business people call me up before they're going into a big meeting, where they have to do a presentation in front of 10 or 15, CEOs, and they're nervous and they're freaked out, and they'll call me up and I do the meditation with them. Within 5 minutes, they're centered. They go right into the presentation. They feel their divine potential in the moment. They're connected with it, and they've just shifted out of fear and into their own light. Not something that I gave them, but something that they can access themselves every day, whenever they choose to. And
that's extremely powerful, Donna. And that's an extreme situation. Well, it sounds like a simple situation, having to do a presentation in front of a group of people, but that happens to be, I think, I've read, the #1 fear. People don't like speaking in front of other people. So that in itself is very powerful.
Right. And people do, they have fears all day long. And when you practice just the trust in the I am that I am, and you learn how to work with breathing that through your system and bringing the divine quality through you, you'll bring a sense of deep serenity and peace to yourself. So whatever it is that you're approaching, whether you're approaching, I'm afraid to talk to my mother about something,
Yeah.
or whether I'm afraid to talk to my spouse about something, I'm afraid to ask for a raise.
Oh, yeah.
It helps somebody, and it gives them the opportunity to practice in any moment. You can be driving in the car and practice. You can be walking in the store and feel judgmental, and then use one of the divine qualities and practice, I love and accept the I am that I am. So when we're loving and accepting ourselves, we're more open to loving and accepting others. So all of a sudden you're seeing someone else differently. I see the truth about someone from the I am that I am.
So is that something that people can do who maybe haven't gone through your training yet? Is maybe someone can say to themselves, I am that I am, when they're thinking negative thoughts or something? Or what are some things that you suggest that people do to start before they take the class with you?
I suggest if you pick up the book, Blessings from a Thousand Generations, it'll have some of those in the divine qualities in the back and the I am statements. Also, they're on my website at www.livingfromgrace.com. But I suggest people just start with, because trust is such an essential, trusting in the divine is like the base note of our being, returning to that we are the presence of divinity. And when you practice, I trust in the I am that I am. I trust in the divine that I am. You don't have to use I am that I am if you use other words to describe that, but you keep breathing in trust all the way through your body, from your lower belly all the way into the center of your brain, because you have to realize mistrust happens when the fight or flight system is overactive. And our fight or flight system in our brain is paired with so many different things that doesn't need to be paired with. So we might have anxieties and fears that are free floating. So trusting in the divine and bringing that consciousness up into the center of the brain really shifts and restores the brain, the neurotransmitters start to rest into this peaceful place. So if anybody wanted to start, I would suggest even today, just in this moment when somebody's watching this radio program, to even say that to themselves. I have people contact me all the time when they try one of these meditation mantras, call me and say, I can't believe how peaceful I felt within a few minutes, because it shifted me from my negative thinking into a positive place. It wasn't just saying, boy, I'm negative, so I have to stop being negative. And then people end up being critical about that because they can't.
Of course,
right.
So
like a snowball
cycle, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, I don't know what to do, and I know I'm not supposed to be negative, and I can't believe I'm not more evolved than that. But if they shift and they use this I am, it gives them something to focus on. And the I am that I am, if we remember that when Moses was at the top of Mount Sinai, that is what what was given to him, these precious words, I am that I am. So that we connect with that I am consciousness and feel the breath of the divine from that I am consciousness. If we remember when Moses came down from the mount, his face was illuminated. People could barely look at him. They had to cover their face, right, when they were looking at him. And those, when he was at the top of the mount, he learned about the 10 Commandments, something that we shriek about today. Like 10 Commandments, I don't want to deal with those. But if we think about those commandments as illuminating our soul, our heart, our soul, our eyes, and our hands, that they were given directly for us to remove the barriers between ourselves and the divine within us. And when we do that, we can have a peaceful society, not by putting them on others first, but bringing them back to ourselves. So the I am, I believe, is one of the most powerful healing gifts that was given to us in the Old Testament, but we haven't used it in the same way I think it was originally meant for healing and blessing our family for 1,000 generations, to bring grace into our family.
That's a very interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah. So when you're doing this particular grace touch technique, you're also bringing this into you, but you're also creating healing back in generations behind you, but also forward too. Is that correct?
to answer your question simply, yes, when we do this work, we heal the generations that are past, and we also become the blessings for our children, our grandchildren, and if we don't have children or grandchildren, for those in the community that we serve, for the world at large.
Yeah, because we're all interconnected. Donna, I think it's important also for people to realize that the technique doesn't just involve emotional healing, but that it also has a relevance on healing organs. Am I correct with saying that? Because I believe I read that on your site.
Right. Well, when we think about a health issue, usually any health issue can have a genetic component because that might have been passed down genetically, but it also will have a psycho-emotional component, that the organ or the system were out of sync with its divine nature. Because when you think about, kidneys function as kidneys, they have a divine nature to function as kidneys. So they're the most beautiful, exquisite things that were created. We couldn't even create those ourselves if we tried. I mean, the body functions are beautiful, but they rest in our divine nature. When they're suffocated by our disconnect, then the organs aren't functioning from divine trust, divine love and acceptance. So when we breathe those through a system, what will happen is some issues may come out of that system. Like if you have a digestive, disorder, like irritable bowel. So those things that you're irritated about will also come up, but you can bring the divine trust right next to the irritation, the divine love next to the self-hate.
That's pretty amazing. That's quite that sounds very powerful, and it sounds that because it can heal physically and emotionally, it sounds like it's really a whole
composite.
It's a whole composite.
The whole picture, yeah.
So Donna, tell us, what matters most to you?
What matters most to me is in my soul, I feel like I was born to help families and people heal, to understand themselves, to understand their family, to unravel the greater mystery of their own divine nature. So, when I was born, people would have said I was born in a dysfunctional family. But I've come to find that I was blessed in this family. And although there were great challenges, and I'm talking about great challenges, and they're in the front of my book, that they have helped me illuminate the light that I am, to remember. So I want to help people free themselves up so that they can bring God realization or divine realization in their families, that their children can walk in peace and healing in the world, that we become a very generous, grace-filled society, that we touch each other with grace rather than touching each other with our anxiety or mistrust, that we take time to, did I touch you with grace today? Did I touch you with love? When our partner comes home from work, a hard day, did I just, avoid looking at them because I was too rushed because I had enough to deal with myself? Or do I turn around and I shine my light on them and I hold them with grace and I hold them with love, even if it's for a moment?
Well, that's beautiful.
Thank you so much, Donna. It really was a pleasure having you on our show. And we would like to remind our viewers again that if they're interested and they're available, October 1st, you will be at the Gardner Family Practice in Flemington. And that information is on your website, correct?
Yes, it's correct. And I wanted to say that I'm going to be at the Circle of Miracles Church on November 20th. I'm invited to speak there for about 20 minutes, and then in the afternoon they're going to do a breakout session for a couple hours. And that's in Chalfont, New Jersey. That's also on my website at www.livingfromgrace.com.
Well, thank you again, Donna. And as we close, we would like to thank our viewers and remind them that the simple things in life are what matters most. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.